The Night Watch in Willow Creek. In the late fall of 1997, Alex, a park ranger, was assigned to work in Willow Creek, a dense, mist-covered forest area deep in the Pacific Northwest. Known for its towering trees and remote wilderness, the region had long been notorious for strange sightings and eerie occurrences. Locals whispered tales of shadowy figures, strange sounds, and the unsettling feeling that something was watching them from the depths of the forest. But Alex, a skeptic and an outdoorsman, laughed off the ghost stories and Bigfoot rumors. He loved the quiet solitude of the woods and believed that every mystery had a rational explanation. One night, as Alex was doing his regular rounds, the usual forest ambiance seemed oddly muted. Even the owls were quiet. He felt a strange stillness settle over the area, almost as if the entire forest was holding its breath. The fog was thick, hanging low over the ground and diffusing the light from his flashlight. It wasn't long before he heard the first noise, a low, guttural growl that reverberated through the trees. He paused, trying to make sense of it. A bear, maybe? A mountain lion? But it didn't sound quite like either. The sound was deeper, more resonant, and oddly rhythmic, like a slow, measured breath. Alex kept walking, his curiosity now heightened, but he found himself gripping his flashlight a little tighter. As he moved deeper into the forest, the growling stopped, replaced by a heavy thudding, like footsteps falling heavily on damp ground. The footsteps seemed to follow him, always about 20 or 30 feet behind, stopping when he stopped, moving when he moved. He shone his flashlight behind him but saw nothing but the thick, swirling fog and the trunks of ancient trees. Trying to keep his composure, he called out, "Anyone there?" His voice felt small in the silence. No answer, just the slow, deliberate crunch of footsteps behind him. Finally, summoning his courage, Alex turned around and yelled, "Stop playing games!" But even as he spoke, he knew deep down that whatever was behind him wasn't human. The footsteps stopped, and for a moment, he thought maybe it was just his imagination, until he felt the oppressive presence of something large and menacing. He squinted into the darkness, barely able to make out a hulking figure standing just at the edge of his flashlight's reach. It was tall, at least 7 feet, with wide shoulders and a body covered in matted, dark hair. It had a face, vaguely human but twisted, with deep-set eyes that glinted red in the light. Paralyzed with fear, Alex could only stare as the creature raised its arm and let out a bone-chilling scream, a high-pitched howl that echoed through the woods, filling the air with a sense of dread he had never felt before. The howl was almost deafening, like a mix of animalistic rage and suffering. Without thinking, Alex turned and sprinted back toward his truck, every nerve in his body screaming for him to run faster. The footsteps thundered behind him, closing the distance with terrifying speed. The creature was chasing him, matching him step for step, its heavy breathing close enough that he could feel the warmth on the back of his neck. He reached his truck, fumbling with the keys as he yanked the door open. As he threw himself inside, he caught a final glimpse of the creature's face in his rearview mirror, its dark eyes boring into him, as if it were memorizing him, marking him. Alex started the engine and tore down the road, his hands shaking so badly he could barely keep control of the wheel. When he got back to the ranger station, he was pale, visibly shaken, and couldn't speak for several minutes. His co-workers listened to his story, skeptical but unsettled by the raw fear in his eyes. He never went back to Willow Creek after that night. Years later, he still wakes up in a cold sweat, haunted by dreams of that creature. A figure looming in the fog, waiting, watching, as if to remind him that the forest always remembers. After that encounter, stories of Bigfoot sightings in Willow Creek only grew, and every so often, a camper or hiker would report hearing footsteps in the fog, feeling that same intense stare. Some even claimed to catch glimpses of a towering figure disappearing silently into the trees.